why, but I'm here to serve you. I don't profess to be anything more than I'm not. I was born and raised here, and I love Boise. It's honestly really easy to make videos about Boise. I love it. I was talking to somebody on the phone today, and they were hot shopping for a $600,000 or $700,000 home, and I said, in your price range, you don't need to worry about being in the ghetto. You don't need to worry about the schools. You don't need to worry about things like that. So it is. There's just really a good valley here, and I am proud to be from here and proud to teach you about what is going on here. So thank you for joining us. Born and raised here, appraiser for 2 to 3 years, and then took a break from that. I did that in the slump of all slumps in the 2007s to 2009s, and then got into sales and got back into real estate in the last 5 or so years. I've been doing real estate here and been gladly serving all you out of staters who are on um, this call and teaching you about Boise uh, and then right now we just have an interesting topic with the market. What's going on with the market? Are we seeing a crash? Are we going to see? Are we going to see a stall? Are we? What do all the price reductions mean? Who's there? Start us off with the comment already. The comments, guys. The comments are what fuels this live. So we usually get a handful of people on this live, and it's fun because you guys drive the discussion. And who's there's first question is looks like the housing prices are being reduced in the Meridian area. Yes, who's there? Great question. And before I got to that question, we had a message pop up on your screen. Let's talk to that real quick. I'd love to hear where you're from. Who's there? I think you were here last time, and I think you're from the Anaheim area, LA area. Where is fresh water? Says Stargaze. Let's go back to who's there. So who's there? Like it looks like the housing market. So if you take a look of all the active listings on the market right now, there's anywhere from 47 to 54%, depending on which city you're taking your data from, of homes on the market have received a price reduction. I have 2 on the market right now, myself personally. I do a fair share of amount of homes. I do some sales. I do some buys, and 2 is a good number for. I mean, it's a fine number for me. There's some people have 100 listings out there, right? I mean, that's not my game. My game's a little bit more one-on-one, and I have 2 listings. One of them has received a price reduction. One of them has not. So right in there with the average. We have to talk when we talk about price reductions. We need to talk about one thing in the market, and that is interest rates. When interest rates rise, there's typically a pause. People are going to say, "Whoa, what's going on here? Is it going to come back down?" Or you have people saying, a few of them are scared, like, okay, I'm going to see if it goes to 6, if it looks like there's an announcement from the Fed again, I'm going to jump on this thing. You have to watch. So people watch that interest rate. Remember, the Fed directly correlates with housing market interest rates. And so that kind of covers the quick topic of housing prices being reduced in the Meridian area. Who's there? If you have any other further detailed questions on the prices, let's dive more into that. We'll get into some of the data for Ada County, Eagle, Meridian, Star. You have to ask yourself, I think, no matter what market you're in, you have to ask yourself a question about your home. 1, do you like your home? 2, do you like your payment? There's really, and I brought this up last live, and I think it was brought up 2 lives ago as well. If you like your home and you like your payment, then that tells me one thing, that you're fine there regardless of what happens in the market. If the market goes up, you could live in your home just fine and just not need to upgrade. If it goes down, you're just fine making your monthly payment. And so it's really important to ask yourself, do you like your home and do you like your payment? Stargazer, welcome from Los Angeles. Fight on to all my Southern Cal peeps. And let's talk about where the interest rates are today. So when we took the data, as it's changed in the last few hours, it's always changing, right? When we took the data from ICCU, ICCU is one of our lowest rates you'll see in the valley. My preferred lender is a 1/4 percentage point lower than ICCU, typically. And his closing costs are about $1,050 for a loan not not based on the loan amount. So it's up there on your screen. When we have any 15-year fixed mortgage, we're at sub 5%. We're at 4.875. That's 4.78%. 30-year is at 5.5% right now. So that gives you an idea of where the rates are at right now. They've hovered between 5.25 and 6 for the last couple, and that is where we're hanging out right now. Let's dive into, well, you know what? I want to dive into something real quick. Just be careful who you're listening to. I had a discussion with someone earlier today about that, and that was the negativity that's out there. Remember what sells. Have you guys ever seen Social Dilemma? It explains everything about what people are trying to do with social media, whether it be Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. I mean, anything you look at, they're trying to get clicks, because the more clicks they have, the more revenue they can generate. And so what gets more clicks? Negativity. And so when people can slant a negative headline on, let's say, a popular figure, you're going to click that more than you would a positive. It's all warm and fuzzy on a positive note, but negativity gets the click. So be careful what you listen to, or be careful without reading the whole article and just reading the headline, because really the market is looking halfway decent. It's not perfect. It's not the same as it was 4 months ago. And prior to 4 days ago, I would say we were in a stall, an unknown stall. In the last 4 or 5 days, we've seen buyer activity up. Why do I say that? My listings have received more showings. There's more going on. There's more homes going under contract, and I am getting calls from people like you guys on from my YouTube channel. Again, that's 208-213-2092. If it's not now, it's later. Text or call, and we can talk about making your process and putting you into the easy 1, 2, 3 buying process. It really is simple when we follow the steps. And so if you are interested in moving to Boise, please know that I am here to help. I am eager to help. And I'm also not going to, I'm going to be persistent, but I'm not going to be in your face. My goal is to serve. My goal is to be trusted. And my goal is to advise you with what I know is accurate. And I'm not going to speculate on things that aren't true. So let's talk about some of the data. I mean, for example, a week ago today, we were at a baseball game with our friends about this time of night. The game started at 7 our time, and it's about 7 our time. And he said, "Man, I saw such and such realtors. It's a friend of ours. He does a lot of work. I just saw such and such update. You know how the market's in a slump and that the average price has gone down." I said, "Really? Tell me more about that." And he didn't know a ton, but he said, "Looks like it was gone down like $80,000 average median home price sell in Eagle." I said, "Yes." I said you could take any stat and slant it negatively. And so he's like, and he kind of didn't believe it for a while. I said, "Look, let me show you a little graph in the last year." And I pulled up on my phone. We looked at the past 12 months of sales and the median price in Eagle. I kid you not, it's 875, 990, 900, 950, 890, 990, and the last month it went from like 990 to 890 or something like that. I can't remember the exact, but something like that. And he's like, but I showed him the previous months and how it's just kind of kept in this range, just up and down, up and down. It depends on where you take your data from. It depends on who you're listening to. It depends on what I have seen is a lot of people will take data and they just want to spit off something they hear. It's kind of like the old way when you sell your home, make sure you take down all your pictures. Why? Because someone else said it, so you're going to repeat it. You've never done the investigative process on that. That's not true. That's not what studies show. Studies don't show that you should leave your pictures up, but studies do not show that. So people just repeat anything they hear. They'll read a headline. So just be careful what you're listening to and where you're getting information. I'm going to pause real quick, guys. Remember, this discussion will be led by, I've got plenty of things I can rattle off the mouth for another 10 minutes. I really, really, really want to hear from you and your questions. And so if you have if you have questions on anything we're talking about in this live, please chime in, type in, and we'll try to get your questions answered. Let's talk about some stats. So we're going to queue up some stats for you on this screen here, so you can see them. And welcome anyone who's watching. We're going to talk about the number of active listings we have right now in Ada County as a whole compared to what we had in June, just a month ago. A quick snapshot. So when you take a snapshot of all of Ada County, this is going to paint a picture of what's kind of going on. Currently, we have 1,650 homes on the market in Ada County. What is Ada County? Boise, Garden City, Eagle, Meridian, Star, Kuna. 1,650. Compared to a month ago, it was 383. Can you say that, quick math, round 383, round that to 400, round 1650 to 1600. So 400 to 1600, that's a 4x in inventory. A little bit more than that, but it's about a 4x. Okay. The number of homes that are under contract has gone from 146 to 553. So from a pure number standpoint, we're looking at almost a 4x with number of solds, but we have 400 more homes under contract. So taking a step back from percentage increases and decreases, we have 400 homes more under contract. What does that mean? It means buyers are still out there. Just if you're listing your house, don't expect it to sell for a second because you have more competition on the market. What does this mean? That means prices should stabilize. When we had lack of inventory, there's two things that drive home price. Two things, and two things only. Do you guys know what they are? I'll give you a second to answer, and there's a little delay. There's two things only that drive price. Only two. And I'll argue this till the cows come home. Supply, demand. There was a lack of supply. And so if your house was worth 900, you could probably ask 950 and get it. If your house is worth 900 and you asked 1.5, you would not get it. There was never that little supply. So supply and demand are the only two things that drive price. Now there are contributing factors into that, right? Supply is not just one word and definitions. Demand is not only one word definition. There's a ton that goes into that. But if you have more set homes than buyers, prices stabilize or they'll go down. And supply and demand. Stargazer, you got it. You got it 100%. And there's a delay between your comments and what I see here. So good job. And that's obvious. That's obviously something that we learn along. One of the first basics of economics is supply and demand. So we have right now 400 more buyers in the last month than we did the previous month. So is buyer activity down? I think there's plenty of buyers. It's just a lot more sellers right now. So we have to take that in consideration. Is the market crumbling? I would say there's more buyers. Are the prices decreasing? Yes, about 50% of them. So it's not just, you cannot take the whole market and just clump it into one huge statement and say the market's crashing or we're in some huge pause or we're not going to recover from this. There's economists, there we go. There's economists that say that for the next 5 years, we're going up about 8% per year. At the beginning of this year, I heard 7 to 10. I heard 7 to 9.5, 10% is what they were kind of predicting. It's kind of playing out. Since 2002, we've gone up in the market, according to FHSA. We've gone up about 347% in Boise. And so take whatever stat you want to with a grain of salt and study it, learn it. Don't just throw it out there, and be educated, because there is a certain point where homes will sell. There's a certain point where they will not sell. John Genta, thanks for chiming in. Prices can't rise forever. Well, I guess, John, it depends what you mean there, because I would say they can rise forever. Since will they go like this? Yes, but we're going to see over time. What has real estate done in the past? Real estate has gone from low to high. It used to cost you $20,000 to buy a home. That same $20,000 home in downtown Pasadena, California, would sell for over $1 million today. Prices in real estate have historically, not every day, not every year, but historically, if you hold on to real estate, what happens? It goes up forever. That's why people hold real estate. That's why there's more than 80% of all millionaires that make themselves a millionaire off real estate. They might not be able to rise at this same rate, because what did we see? We saw a ridiculous steep curve And I agree with you there, John, if that's what you're saying, that prices can't sustain that growth. Because if they do, I'm trying to get my hand right. If they do, we are going to be in an inflationary time when we need to curb that again. Because that's, you could argue, compare that to inflation, how much have we really gone up? We've gone up some for sure. But that, so can they go up forever? And maybe you need to clarify your comment, or maybe that's what you were saying. I think they can go up forever. But I don't think they're going to go up like they are right now. And if you want that graph, I have the graph on Boise's. I have the graph on any city and state, actually. Not any, the top like 500 cities in America, about how market has consistently gone up over time. Jeff Gall, do you think the market is more open to offers with contingencies in the Treasure Valley area, contingent on us selling our house and contingent on a home inspection of a new house? Okay, great question, Jeff. Great question. I want to pause with that question. I want to tell you a little story. So there's a guy named Brian Hymas in Boise. I'm on my MLS app because it's more accurate. My wife loves Zillow. I want to throw Zillow. Zillow's awesome. When I go on vacation, I'll look at Zillow because I don't have MLS access to other places, but Zillow's not accurate in Boise. Idaho's a non-disclosure state, so you don't have to tell them your home price. But we're Sunday night, my wife and I are laying there in bed or on the couch or something. I was like, hey, have you seen this home? She's like, I've seen them all. I was like, no, this one's pretty cool. Look at this one. Anyway, ended up being that she hadn't seen that one because Zillow did not map it right. And so it mapped as if it was in the Timbuktu, Idaho, but it was really in a location we'd considered before, Middleton, Idaho. And so we wrote an offer, and the only thing they had to say was, we will not be looking at contingent offers. And that's not true all the time. I tell you that story for a couple reasons. One is the market's not scaring me from selling and buying. It's really not. If you buy and sell in the same market, I don't think there's a reason to fear. If we would have bought that other home and we hold this house, I don't have any speculation on what's going to happen in the market. Like John said, it can't go up forever. In terms of day to day, I don't know where it's going to be in a year. I don't know if it's going to be better or worse. I bet it's going to be up. But if it was going to be up, would I just hold my home right now before I sell it? Because I'm going to sell it. I'm going to throw all the equity in the second home. So, to John's point, there is there in the long term you can't lose. I think John and I are saying the same thing. The long term you cannot lose. If I sell this home today, could I make less money on it tomorrow, or can I make more money on it tomorrow? One of two will happen for sure. So, I tell that story. One, I'm in the market. I do preach what I practice. I practice what I preach. And to Jeff's question, are people taking contingent offers? Some are. It's really, so I have a listing that's been on the market for, I think it's about 50 days right now, and it's priced right. It's priced right. We have looked at the data so many times. And if somebody came in with a contingent offer, I'm not going to put my house on hold that I have for sale. At least I'm not going to advise this for my people. I'm not going to advise them to lock your house up so that another house whose market you're unfamiliar with, whose agent you're unfamiliar with, whose pricing strategy you're unfamiliar with, the surrounding area you're unfamiliar with, the home you're unfamiliar with. I'd rather be more familiar with my home and control that than I would depend on someone else. So if you wanted to put your money where your mouth is, I think you would sell your house and make a way to make it happen. That's my own thoughts. Are people taking them? I haven't seen one yet. I do think they're more open for offers that are under contract, but I do think you need to have your home under contract. So yeah, contingent on a selling house and contingent on a home inspection of a new house. If your house is under contract, depending on what part of that contract it's in, I would say people are open to that. Contingent on a home inspection of a new house. Yes, home inspections are 100% back. We're not seeing those waived right now. We are seeing some free rent backs. When the home's a 5-star home, we're still seeing some free rent backs. I haven't seen an appraisal gap waived in, I don't know, 4 or 5 months. So hopefully that gives you an idea, Jeff. And I should probably pause and tell you how Idaho works. On the scroll about it right there, right? The third thing that comes by, there's my email. And then here's on this website, I go over this. And it goes on how the Idaho contract that we use, Idaho Realtor Standard Docs, template docs. I should tell you how Idaho's contract is written, and that is written pro buyer. So when you get under contract, there are 7 ways you can get out of contract. Your finance, there's a few ways: financing, HOA docs, property disclosures, home inspections, and a few other things, appraisals, etc. But in the first usually, I'm just going to say the typical numbers. In the first 3 days in your earnest money's due, you have to get that in. There's no way you getting out of that. You have to have that. But if you have a home inspection, you have 5 typically business days to get that done. And if you have 5 days to get that done, in that time period in Idaho, you, the buyer, can get out of contract for any reason whatsoever. It doesn't matter if it's because you feel funny. It doesn't matter if your dog died. It doesn't matter if your favorite team won the Super Bowl and now you just feel like staying in your home city. It doesn't matter if you found mold in the basement. No one needs to know why you want to get out. You can get out of contract in that home inspection phase. That's for a standard. That's for a primary phase. Secondary inspection, well and septic, survey lines, etc. You can set that time frame to be 10 or 15, and you can still get out of contract and get your earnest money back. All this is get your earnest money back. It's like a get out of jail free card. That's how the contracts are written in Idaho, is to be buyer friendly. It promotes buyer activity for people to get under contract. Very few people get under contract and want to get out of contract. It's just not how people work. Investors sometimes can work that way, but most regular buyers do not. Okay. Any questions? Put those in the chat. Again, I'm Brian Hymas, local agent, born and raised here in Boise, Idaho. If it matters to you, some people care. I was a platinum producer last year here in the Boise Regional Realtors. Thanks to a lot of people like you and friends and family who trust me. So I have some experience under my belt, and I love making videos about Boise. The videos have been lesser and fewer. I sustained a little bit of an injury. Let's see if I can show you. Yep, there she is. ACL, MCL, patella, meniscus, fall on the basketball court. And so the videos have been lesser because of that. It's been hard to sit. I can actually sit normal in this chair now. I don't like you could tell last time, but last time's live was actually super painful. I just had to have it propped. And let's go to the next question. Stargazer, looking for property with an active well. There's so many properties with wells. There are so many properties, and you can search without the MLS. You can search for homes to have wells on them, and it's super easy to search that way. Stargazer, you're from LA. You've been looking for a while. And then when you Stargazer, when you buy a home, it has that secondary inspection period. You'd be able to test the well in that. You test it for E. coli, nitrites. You test the flow of the well. You test the pump, and they say if it's good or bad. And I have never had a well fail. I've had a well that did not pass a certain type of chemical, and it was an easy fix. I'm not sure what I can't remember what they did. It was about a year and a half ago, but it was a simple fix for the well company to go down there and fix what they needed to fix. So keep your eyes out. And if you need to email me, brian@brianhymas.com, or if we're already in contact, I just don't know your real name because you're Stargazer on here and we're already talking, then that works too. And give a shout out, give a little emoji for Jean. Jean is my assistant. She is awesome. She got in the comments once, I think, or twice. So she retracted her comment. Jean is awesome. Give your favorite emoji for Jean, because she runs all the stats and all these things that run by as I talk. She's just following along and giving you all the data. I'm hands free. I can dance and talk, and she can do all that stuff. For please give your best emoji for Jean. She totally helps us out. So let's go to the next question. We're going to go to, all right, we're going to go to John, and long term we can't lose. And then me, I wrote my name or that was Jean again. Jean wrote to my number and the email. So thank you, Jean. Okay, that was Ada County as a whole and some active. Remember, I got sidetracked. 16. We went from basically 400 active homes a month ago to 1,600 essentially, and we went from 150 to about 550 pending homes. So we went with more buyer activity, and then number of solds in the last month were about the same. So we've had more buyers enter into contract. And there's just been more homes available. Supply and demand. Supply and demand. We're seeing buyers catch up. And I would venture to say in August we're going to see more than 724 closings, because in June of 2022 in Ada County we had 888, and you can see the number on your screen compared to this month is 724. So we're down. There's a pause. There's for sure a pause. Median days on market went from 5 to 7. Median sold price is about the same. Very, 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 very similar. 590 to 5, basically 600. And lowest price sold went from 272 to 297. You can see the price per square foot. That was a small home, because $717.09. That's a ton per square foot. And then the highest price home went from 3.85 mil to 3.15 million. And those are the Ada County stats. Let's dive into some of the stats on Eagle. Connie, is that you from Nampa? Connie lived in my neighborhood a year. If that's you, Connie, thanks for joining us. Connie lived in our neighborhood about a year ago, and we sold her home. Connie was awesome to work with. Kind of a dream. Usually I fight clients and tell them their house is it's worth what I think it's worth. It's sometimes a little lower than they think. And Connie's like, just list it low. I just need to sell this thing, get out of here. Guess what? Market spoke. We sold it for, I think it was around the same dollar amount that I wanted to go for. So she won. And but yeah, thanks. I think that's you, Connie, because it's young. It says C Young. I'm guessing that's you. If it's not, thank you, C Young, for the comment. Let's see here. Eagles data. So let's go in active homes in Eagle. We're about a 3x. We're about up 3x from I'm going to round, and you're going to see the numbers on your screen. We went from 50 to 170. That's, roughly 150. It's about a 3x, 3.5x. Then on pendings, we went from 16 to 54. And then on solds, we went from 95 to 80. Same trend. We're multiplying on the first two categories, actives and pendings, and then sold, we're going down. Median days on market in Eagle, this is where it wasn't on par with everyone else. We went from 5 to 13. We more than 2x, 2.6x on that one. Median sold price went from 930 to 860. And the lowest price went to 499, and then went up in July to 519. The highest price sell in Eagle was at 2.45, and the highest price sell in Eagle in this last month was 2.9. 2.9. So, let's see here. Do you guys like these stats? I'm going to go over to Meridian stats. Tell me if you like these stats, and we'll go to stars and be done with stats. And if we have any questions, we'll finish out with those. Again, Brian Hymas, born and raised here in Boise, Idaho. I would love to help you. It's a pleasure when my phone rings or I get a text from somebody like you looking to move to Boise, and you have questions. Not all of you will move to Boise after investigating, and that's fine. I'm here to answer questions and guide you along the way and put you into the easy 1, 2, 3 buying process. It really is awesome. What we do is we talk on the phone, do a little quick chat or a quick text, set up a Zoom call about an hour, and I have a 10-question. I sprinkle the questions in there. You don't really know you're getting a questionnaire from me. I have 10 questions I want to ask you, and you're going to have questions you want to ask me. And I'm going to have homes I want to show you, and you're going to have homes you want to show me. But through those 10 questions, I really understand, get to know your whys and why you're moving here, what's important to you, and why. And so that saves hours and hours and hours on the back end. So that is a super, super easy process. It's not rocket science, but it's something I've paid money for. It's something I've honed in through working with many out-of-staters and getting decently good. I won't say I'm perfect, of working with you guys and reading and knowing what you guys are looking for. So let's go to Meridian's stats. So I'm going to round again. So active a month ago was about 100, and we're about at 500 active homes in in Meridian. Jeff Gall, Meridian stats, please. Yeah, right at you. Pending, rounding 50 a month ago to about 150 now. So 3x. Are these sounding familiar? And sold went from 283 to 204. So decrease again. And then median days on the market, 5 to 8. 5 to 8. Gina, a quick pause. I'm just going to talk to you real quick. I wonder if we could put images on here. That'd be sweet, because then we could put this on there, because that's what I'm looking at. Just an idea. Raise your hand, or if you want this, I can send this to you. Who wants this? If you say send me the papers, I'll send you the papers. Or send me the stats. I'll send you the stats. Because then I'll just start rattle them off. But if you want the stats, tell me, send me the stats, and I will send you the stats. I will need your email, or you can just email me at brian@brianhymas.com, and I will send you the stats so that you guys can have them. All right. Does anybody want more stats? I've got stars and I've got Boise's. If you want Boise's, let me know. I'm going over stars right now. We're going to go active in star. Again, I'm rounding. Star went from 50 to 125, 126. So that's a more than 3x. All the pending homes went from 26 to 31. Again, an increase. Not a huge increase at all in star. Interesting. The solds was roughly the same, about a 20% decrease, about an 18% decrease, something like that. 59 to 46. Median days on the market in star decreased. The only one that did. It went from 8 to 5. And then the median sold price decreased quite a bit from 680 to 586. So a huge difference. Or as the famous man would say, huge. The lowest price home sold in Star was for 272, and the lowest price in the last 30 days was at 355. Crazy, because when I was home buying 10 years ago on my first home, not this home, I had my pickings at my homes. I had a sales job that I was in, and I got only approved on my base salary, and which was nothing. It was a ton of commission in that job, and I could only buy up to like 150, 163 or 168, I think. And all of Star was open for me. Gene, you're getting me moving, which is good. Highest price to sell in Star over last month was 1.1 essentially, compared to 1.6 the previous 30 days. So that gives you a little food to nibble on there. And we didn't have anyone come in for the stats for Boise. Just know that stats in Boise are, again, about a 3.5x on the active listings gone up. Then the pendings went up about 5x. Solds went down. Median days barely went up. And then on the all fund data, median price barely went down. So, that is a wrap. If you guys want the stats, please send me the stats, and we will send them to you, or email me at brian@brianhymas.com, and we will get those to you. Question of the hour: where is Brian moving to? One of my friends is on the live, texting me on my watch. Where are you moving to? We're going from Eagle, Idaho to Middleton, Idaho. We absolutely love Eagle. It was the hardest part about moving from one place to the other was looking at the area we live in. We love it here. We're so close to things. We love our community. We love our neighbors. We love our neighborhood. We just love it here. We have good friends we've developed good friends down the street. Our kids have friends to play with. Which was not the case when we moved here. When we moved here, it was kind of, we could see for about a mile in almost all directions. In fact, we could see for forever in one direction. And we're going to grab some land out in Middleton. So when I have my son is one of my biggest YouTube fans, and he said, "Dad, I don't understand. You put Nampa as one of the worst places to live in Idaho, but then it made your top 10 on best places to live in Idaho too." There's so many good areas in Nampa and in Idaho, excuse me. I want to make that clear to you guys. I love Middleton. I love Nampa. I've offered, in fact, my house is actually, it's Middleton churches, Middleton schools. And it's the address of Caldwell. It's not an official city of Caldwell. It's just right next to Middleton. It's just unincorporated. So it's Middleton area. So we're super excited. I see a question about schools from Jarrett. I'll speak to schools, guys. I haven't seen any schools that in Boise that I would be afraid of. Boise as a whole. I know Middleton's school ratings are like a 4 out of 10. It wouldn't scare me. I think everyone's different though, and when you have a higher school rating system, your sell price can be a beneficiary of that. So keep that in mind. But I have my sister and brother's kids went to school in Middleton, and they raved about the teachers. So it really depends. School ratings used to be high in Meridian, 8 to 10. Now they seem to have around 4. Is this due to increase in population? What are they doing to fix it? Jarrett, I don't know. So the school ratings are, it's private opinion. Niche.com has their own, greatschools.org have their own, and there's others out there that have their own. So it depends on which school rating system you're looking on. I know for a fact with Star Elementary, because I would get people wanting to move um, to move to our neighborhood. Connie, if you're taking off, see you, thank you. And Connie can speak to this too. People in this neighborhood that I'm in. It was Star Elementary, which had like a 4 out of 10 rating. And one day I checked greatschools.org and it went up to an 8 or a 9 out of 10. It's like, that's weird. Next day went on, there was a 6 out of 10. It's based on diversity, which Idaho's never going to be good at. Just pure numbers. As a whole, there are parts of Boise that have more diversity than others, but as a whole, when it comes to ethnicity, this is not the most ethnic diverse place. It's going to be based on national test scores. Heaven forbid, if a teacher of my kids does not teach to a national test score, I'd probably be more happy than sad, because I want them teaching to my kid, not to a test. And they're based on class sizes, which is probably pretty important, because it tries to, all this stuff is trying to do is quantitate the quality, and you can try, but you only really know once you get there. So Jared, I don't know where they're taking the data from, if it's greatschools.org or you're taking the data from, whether it's Great Schools or Niche or authority.org or wherever it's from, but I just think you should hold that with a grain of salt. And I've had many requests to do stuff with the schools. It's hard. I can only report facts, and so I try to paint that balance. But if there's something you want to know at schools, there's some interview I can do. If there's questions you have for me to ask, I would love to have those questions, because I don't know what questions I can ask to kind of pull from people, school board people, principals, teachers. Hey, you got rated as 8. Tell me why you're a 9. You got rated a 4. Tell me why that's a bunch of malarkey. Like, I don't know. So I would love to hear what you guys think about schools and how I can help you do some research instead of relying on other websites. So does that answer all your questions, guys? I will give it about 20 more seconds. If you have any questions, please type them in, and I will get them as fast as I can. Let's see. Hey, this is a good time to talk. While you guys type questions in, we are going to do lives twice a month. We're going from once a month to twice a month. We have 15 people on right now. Now, if I was some famous person, I'd be so disappointed with 15. I am so happy to have 15 people on here right now interested in Boise. It's people who are super genuinely interested in Boise. Some of you may move to Boise. Some of you may not think about moving to Boise. Some of you may think about it and never do it. I don't know. But 15 people is 15 individuals that I can help. And I am absolutely thrilled about that. Again, right there. If you are moving to Boise, there's no greater compliment that I receive than from you to receive a text, phone, or call or email from you saying you're needing help. If that is you, I would absolutely be honored to help you. So please, if that's you, I would love to help you. We're going to be doing 2 lives a month. One live is going to be at 7 p.m. on a Tuesday. The other, we are finalizing some details on it, but we're gonna have other topics besides just the market in that off Tuesday, and it's going to be at 1 o'clock Mountain Time, so 12 o'clock Pacific. That's going to be hopefully during Pacific people's lunch times, so they can grab a bite and hop on. And we're going to be talking about other things besides just the market. We'll talk about specific home prices. We'll talk about some events. We'll talk about different things. Those topics will be, we're in the middle of making those lists and making those topics right now. So if you are interested in that, make time to be on those lives. We absolutely love these lives. Connie says, I've got grandkids in Meridian schools that are doing very well. Just depends on what school. Thanks, Connie. I appreciate the firsthand story. So super, super important. First live. Yeah, there we go. First live is 1 p.m. Mountain Standard Time on the first Tuesday of the month. So we're super excited and to be putting those on. Gene, if you remember all the topics we talked about, type those in so they can see them. But we are super excited about those lives coming up. So guys, it is a pleasure. If you have any questions and you have something that close us off, please email me or text me or call me, and we will talk more about the Boise market. It is a pleasure serving you. It's a pleasure getting on with you guys in this live. And thank you for taking time out of your Tuesday night to skip the All-Star game and watch Brian Hymas up in Boise. And I look forward to working with you, answering your questions, serving you, and becoming your trusted real estate advisor. And as that's my whole goal. So, guys, let me know how I can help, and we'll see you next time.